and welcome to this week's edition of AHSAA Weekly. I'm Susan Carruthers, and let's get right into all the action of a busy week. On the show today, we'll talk to Cold Springs cross-country coach Casey Howell and his standout junior runner Ethan Edgeworth. We'll also get a chance to meet Montgomery Academy volleyball coaching legend Julie Gordon, who clinched her 1,500th career victory last week and landed herself in the top 10 of high school volleyball coaches nationally. Then we'll round out the week's interviews by getting to know our Class 2A Making a Difference recipient, Vinson High School's athletic director and boys basketball coach John Hatter. And finally, I know you won't want to miss AHSAA Coordinator of Social Media David Holtzford's video highlights from last week's high school football and volleyball action. We'll be right back with all that in just a moment.
Retirement planning, investment planning, education planning, ad valorem, blah, 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 blah. Financial planners love to show their version of a perfect retirement, but what about your perfect retirement? At AmFirst Financial, we'll get to know you first, so we can make a plan for the person you'll be years from now, and future you will be glad we planned ahead. So call AmFirst Financial today. You'll thank you later.
Are you an enthusiastic sports fan? Want to have fun and get in on the action?
Heck yes, that'd be awesome.
Have great attention to detail? Want to stay active?
Definitely.
Want to give back to the student athletes in your community?
Obviously, yes.
Then you'd make an excellent high school sports official. We need more officials in Alabama, because with no high school officials, there are no high school sports. Sign up today at highschoolofficials.com.
Welcome back to AHSAA Weekly. We are now thrilled to be joined from Cold Springs High School by Coach Casey Howell and standout cross-country star Ethan Edgeworth. Welcome, guys.
Hey, thanks for having us.
Now, I understand that last week in the Scottsboro Invitational, Ethan made the decision to run in the large school division. So, Coach, tell me a little bit about, coaching at a small school and then making that choice to compete against the larger schools.
Yeah, that's actually the first question we always get is, what is it like for a small school to compete against the larger schools? And we just kind of preach to our kids and teach to our kids that these are the kids you're going to have to go against in the workforce one day, or these are the kids you're going to have to compete for scholarships for. So we really try not to worry about anybody other than ourselves and just being our best version of ourselves.
Now, Ethan, I understand that you recently reached and achieved a personal best. So you're just a junior and you've obviously already accomplished a lot. Is there more to come from Ethan Edgeworth?
Yes, ma'am. Sure. Yes, there is.
What are some of your goals for the future?
For this season, for Southern Showcase, that's probably the fastest race we run, 1440s. And then my overall goal for the season is make it to Foot Locker Nationals in San Diego.
Now, Coach Howell, tell me a little bit about what it's like to coach Ethan, to coach someone with this kind of drive.
Well, last year, Ethan did not get to qualify in the 3,200 at state. And there were people coming up to us saying that they had come to the state championship just to watch him run. And it hit me at that moment how blessed we are to get to watch this kid, not just on Saturdays, but every day of the week. And what's even more special is that he's a better person.
That is awesome to hear. Now, Ethan, tell me a little bit about how you figured out you have a knack for cross country.
So I originally just did it at my old school, Good Hope, I was just trying to get into shape for, basketball and football and stuff. And then I broke my arm playing football, and then I just started training super hard and got into it that way.
Well as your season is going so far, you can't rest. So what is next for you guys the rest of the season?
Good job.
Well, in about 10 minutes, we'll be starting our recovery run from our workout yesterday. And this weekend we have a Pepsi Challenge, and then we'll have Chickasaw, and then we'll have Southern Showcase in 3 weeks. And our goal at this point is just to try to push all the right buttons so that he'll, not just him, but our entire team will have their best performance.
Well, good luck with that recovery run that you've got in a few minutes and all the meets you've got coming up. We wish you all the best the rest of the season. Thanks for being here.
Hey, thank you. God bless.
Welcome, Coach Julie Gordon from Montgomery Academy. Coach Jordan, you reached an incredible milestone in your career this past week, winning your 1,500th victory, which puts you as number 6 in the country among high school volleyball coaches. How does it feel?
You know, it's pretty special. I've been here for a long time, and I've gone through quite a few milestones. I don't really count every day, but it's really special. What makes it special is the group of girls that I get to share these milestones with. I've got photos in my office of an 800 win. And one of the players that was on my team at 800, she's now my assistant coach. So it just is full circle, you know, and so that was special at 800, but so is this, and it's the people and the players and the girls that make it special.
Well, when you started out at Montgomery Academy 44 years ago, did you ever dream that any of these milestones would be in your future?
No, you know, and it's something you don't really think about, but I was straight out of Auburn grad school, and our headmaster took a chance on me that, hey, let's hire this young kid. And I was probably 4 years older than the seniors, and I really didn't know anything, but I was young, I was eager, always loved sports growing up. And so volleyball has just been a thing here, and the girls thrive here. They love it. And how do you stay in one place 44 years? Well, the kids are wonderful. The administration is wonderful. We've had so many just famous athletic directors that I've had the opportunity to work with. Joe Moody, John Tatum, worked with Spence McCracken, Anthony McCall. I mean, all those are mentors in my life, and just made it special. And it's a great school, and I love being here.
Well, you mentioned some of the mentors that you've been able to experience. Do you consider yourself a mentor?
You know, I do. I think young people need someone to look up to, and I consider myself a pretty normal person. You know, being raised in a good home setting, I think grounded me. And if I could display that to my kids, my girls, and just all students here at MA, I think it's very important, and especially even more so now in the last 5 years, it's very important to understand what's really important in life. And it's not all about sports, but it's about treating people with kindness and respect, and that's what I try to do.
You're absolutely right. And you mentioned earlier that when you arrived at Montgomery Academy 44 years ago, you didn't know much about coaching, but clearly you know a lot about coaching now. So tell us, what is the secret to your coaching success?
Well, I still love to learn, and I continually search the internet. I am members of a lot of organizations, but probably secret to the success would have to be the players. You know, I've never won one single game in my life, and they really don't want me to play, but we've got a great connection, I think, with my drive and my enthusiasm. And even when I came, the program was pretty strong, and it's never wavered. And sports back then is so different than sports right now. It is amazing how far these athletes have come, and they're just so much more committed. So success kind of breeds success. And we've been very fortunate that we've got some girls here at MA that really love volleyball, and they want to be the best they can be. And so it's a good combination. It's a good working relationship.
Well, Coach Gordon, congratulations again on 1,500 wins. Congratulations on a successful season so far. We wish you all the best going forward. And thanks again, everybody. We'll be right back on AHSAA Weekly.
Retirement planning, investment planning, education planning, ad valorem, blah, 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 blah. Financial planners love to show their version of a perfect retirement, but what about your perfect retirement? At AmFirst Financial, we'll get to know you first, so we can make a plan for the person you'll be years from now, and future you will be glad we planned ahead. So call AmFirst Financial today. You'll thank you later.
A game without a crowd is just a scrimmage. A performance without an audience is just a rehearsal. Without your presence, high school sports and the performing arts aren't possible. Ensure that these essential extracurricular activities continue to enrich the lives of students in Alabama. Purchase a ticket to your local high school's game or performance.
This message presented by the AHSAA.
We are so proud of all of our AHSAA Making a Difference recipients, and this week we are thrilled to introduce you to our 2A recipient, Coach John Hatter of Vincent High School. Coach Hatter is the athletic director and the boys basketball coach.
So I went to Hueytown High School. I think I always knew that I was going to be a coach. I don't think I ever really even entertained the idea of anything else. Even when I was in high school, of course, I'm participating in athletics and playing everything, and even during that time, I'd get finished with practice and I'd go home in the afternoon and coach my younger sister's softball team that evening or whatever. So, going into education was just something that, that I just kind of knew that I would always do, and didn't really ever even entertain the idea of anything else. And honestly now, as I get older and think about retirement coming one day, I'm not even sure if I'm really suited to do anything else after that, So education and coaching is just something I always knew that I'd be a part of. The biggest challenges I think we face, really is when you're dealing with the kids, the same qualities that you really need to have good basketball players, have good football players, have good volleyball players are the same qualities that you really need to kind of become a good person. And so I think the challenge that you have is to try to teach them through sports how to develop in that way, how to handle adversity, how to handle disappointment, how to deal with anxiety. And so when you teach that through sports, and all of a sudden you're not just really developing the athlete, you're developing the student, the kid. And I think we have a tendency now, a lot of times, to try to really come in and rescue kids a lot of times from teachable moments that they have as they're growing up that are really important for them, in their development. So, that there are several times that our kids will have some decisions that they make that are not really good decisions, and that there's going to be some disappointment and some consequence that comes from some of those decisions that they make. And as parents now, and I'm a parent too, and even as coaches and teachers, a lot of times we want to come in and we want to shield them from that. We want to kind of protect them a little bit from that disappointment. But in reality, when you do that, you just kind of rob kids of a moment that they have that they really need to learn from, that's going to help them develop as they go down the road. So that's a challenge sometimes, to try to balance that in terms of helping them develop and letting them feel a little bit of that pain and that disappointment, while at the same time trying to, let them, encourage them and try to help them feel like, that you trust them and you believe in them. The rewards for me, a lot of times when you're a young coach, when you first get into coaching, sometimes it's a little bit ego-driven. You see, this is year 27 for me, so you see a lot of young coaches come in, and a lot of those coaches sometimes have these ideas of what they want to do and what kind of success they want to have, and I'm sure I was the same way. But you learn as you go on that really the rewards that you get from it is the connection that you get with the players, the connection that, and a lot of times that connection only happens when they really understand that you care about them and that you believe in them. That connection that you have and seeing them be happy about things that they have that they have done collectively as a team or as an individual, that's the best thing that you get out of coaching, seeing them in the locker room afterward and seeing them. Because we always tell our kids, there's a difference between want to and willing to. Everybody wants things, but a lot of times people are not willing to do what they need to do to kind of see that through, So to see kids come together and to buy in like that and see them happy about things that they've done collectively as a group, that's the biggest reward that you get, because that connection that you have with them doesn't stop as soon as the season's over or their career is over. They'll come back after school or after their high school career is done. They'll come back and still want to talk and see how things are going. So that connection that you have and that bond that you get with some kids like that, that's really the biggest reward that you can get out of it. I think really the key to our program has really just been the way that we approach things every day in terms of the high standard that we have for everything. So ultimately you have to, the kids have to kind of know that you trust them and that you believe in them. A lot of times when they feel like you believe in them, then they know that they're not just by themselves. And once you kind of develop that and they feel like you care for them and that you believe in them, then all of a sudden it makes it a lot easier for them to buy into the idea of what you want your program to be like. And look, I'll be honest with you, we've had some really good athletes and some really good kids, and it's hard to ever be successful without having good athletes and good kids. So we've been very fortunate, very blessed. But a lot of times, once you kind of get that culture set like you want, you have good kids and you have good athletes, and you can enjoy a sustained amount of success for a long period of time, as long as you don't let your expectations and your culture slip. There's so many challenges sometimes in education and in coaching that a lot of times you have a tendency to always think about the challenges that you have. But as you get older and you've been in it a long time, what you really start to do is just be grateful for what you have, because when you're grateful, then all of a sudden the challenges that you have every day, they don't drag you down, because ultimately you always kind of tend or trend toward the positive side of it, because you're just grateful for the position that you have. So I've been lucky to do this as long as I have. I've been lucky to have the opportunities that I have, and so, when this all winds up for me, I can look back at everything and know that I've just been really blessed to have the opportunities that I've had.
The perfect checking account doesn't exist. Not at a bank, that is. So why do you keep looking there? At AmFirst, you can get no minimum balance or monthly fees, an instant issue debit card, and free checks with unlimited check writing. But who doesn't want more? Like a rewards program you'll actually use, and convenient digital tools that make it easy to manage your account from anywhere. Now you could try and find that at a bank, or you could save yourself the trouble by checking with us.
Are you an enthusiastic sports fan? Want to have fun and get in on the action?
Heck yes, that'd be awesome.
Have great attention to detail? Want to stay active?
Definitely.
Want to give back to the student athletes in your community?
Obviously, yes.
Then you'd make an excellent high school sports official. We need more officials in Alabama, because with no high school officials, there are no high school sports. Sign up today at highschoolofficials.com.
Welcome back, and let's get right into last week's highlights. Our highlights, as always, are compiled by AHSAA's David Holtzford. Let's get to the football and volleyball action. We open this week's highlights with some outstanding volleyball action featuring the Alabama Christian Academy Eagles at crosstown rival Montgomery Catholic. The Class 4A Lady Knights, last year's Class 3A state runner-up, dominate the action early with this spike coming from talented hitter Lyndon McAnally, giving Catholic the early lead. A block by 6-foot sophomore Harper Howell gives the Knights another point, and McAnally adds another point as Catholic, coached by Sellers Dubberly, wins this match 2-0. Next, we head to Addison High School, where the Class 1A Bulldogs, last year's Class 2A state champions, taking on the Decatur Heritage. Addison, coached by Katie Woodard, are just too strong in this match as we see Abby Waldrop with a powerful spike hitting the ball out of reach of all the Eagles defenders. Points follow quickly by Lauren Cunningham and Waldrop, again as the Bulldogs go on to win this small school clash of volleyball powers 2-0. We stay with volleyball action as we head north to catch up with Jasper High School, currently 13-2 on the season, taking on Ramsey High School of Birmingham. The Vikings' Elena Hadaway gets a quick spike in the first set as Jasper takes an early 4-2 lead. Later in the set, teammate Michaela Cook delivers a return shot the Rams are unable to bring back. The Vikings continued their strong play with Allie Gray Sailors setting up Tiara McElrath for a powerful kill shot, and Jasper, coached by Bobby Daniels, takes a 3-0 win. Next, we move to football action where we pick up a historic battle between Jeff Davis and Opelika in East Alabama. Opelika is holding a 7-6 lead when quarterback Roman Gagliano finds Calvin Hewley, who slips out for a screen pass and takes it 31 yards for a touchdown, giving the Bulldogs a 14-6 lead. Hewley would add another touchdown as coach Eric Speakman's Bulldogs roll up 257 total yards to defeat Jeff Davis 35-14. And became just the 30th school in AHSAA history to clinch 600 wins. Opelika has a 600, 303, and 18 record in 105 seasons, the first coming in 1917. Let's stay in the Wiregrass while Class 5A Rehoboth travels to Class 2A Wicksburg and walks out with a 31-12 win. We pick up the action in the first half with the Rebels quarterback Luke Odom finding Terrell Townsend for a 32-yard touchdown pass. Rehoboth uses a little trickery in the third quarter when Odom passes across the field to Russell Ash, who then fires a perfect strike to Townsend, who falls into the end zone for a 30-yard touchdown. Rehoboth scores again late on a 76-yard interception return from Devin Singletary to improve to 2-0. Next, we go to Enterprise, where the Wildcats host Auburn in a Class 7A Region 2 opener for both teams. Auburn starts the scoring when quarterback Clyde Pittman finds Ian Nations for the 21-yard touchdown. On the ensuing kickoff, Enterprise's Michael Johnson catches the kickoff at the 10-yard line and goes 90 yards for a touchdown, tying the game 7-7. But Auburn would prove to be too strong with hard-running D.V. Williams refusing to be tackled on a 27-yard touchdown run, and Tyler Flakes breaking free for a 26-yard touchdown. Johnson is able to score on a long touchdown catch for Enterprise, but Auburn, 2-0, remains unbeaten, taking the 31-21 win. We move next to Central Alabama, where we pick up the action between Class 6A Benjamin Russell and Class 5A Central of Clay County at Volunteer Stadium. The visiting Wildcats take an early lead with quarterback Gabe Benton hurling a 66-yard touchdown strike to senior Corey Milliner. Benton continues with a 32-yard scoring run, giving Benjamin Russell a 14-7 lead. Benton finishes the game 3 for 7 passing with 144 yards and a touchdown, and the Wildcats added 209 yards rushing to remain undefeated 2-0 with a 33-14 win over Central. We pick up last Thursday's battle at Clanton, where Chilton County High School improved to 2-0 with a 50-0 win over county rival Jemison in a setup for this week's big 6A Region 3 game at Briarwood. Rashard Childers got the Tigers going with a 34-yard touchdown run, and Chilton County never looked back. Childers scores 5 times on the night, amassing 149 yards total on 18 carries. Quarterback Cannon Miller was also 17 of 26 passing for 191 yards and 2 touchdowns, including a throw to Jacavion Bolding for 15 yards. Our next stop is Briarwood Christian, where the Lions are taking on Class 7A neighbor Spain Park. Evan Smallwood passes to Zamir Ferris for a touchdown early to give the visiting Jaguars a 6-0 lead. Things heat up in the fourth quarter, where Briarwood senior quarterback and Clemson University commit Christopher Vizina marches the Lions down the field 68 yards in the final minutes, setting up the winning touchdown with 5 seconds remaining. He scrambles and finds teammate Brady Wall in the back of the end zone for the game-winning touchdown as the final horn sounds and Briarwood escapes with a 23-21 win. We close out our Week 1 highlights with Coach Rick Rhodes teaming up with longtime Calhoun County TV personality Mickey Shadricks to provide commentary for highlights from last week's AHSAA Network Game of the Week. Southside Gadsden defeating Hoax Bluff 42-7.
Well, a good old-fashioned Etowah County rivalry played out tonight in Hoax Bluff, but it was all Southside as the Panthers broke open a close 7-7 game in the third quarter. 35 unanswered points to wind up blowing away the Eagles 42-7. Coach Rick Rhodes, we came into this game knowing that these two teams were both wanting to win. Hoax Bluff's first game of the year. Southside lost the game last week. Panthers came out really looking good offensively in the first quarter.
Yeah, they really did. They're going to start the game off like a house of fire, both on the ground and in the air. You're going to see a nice long run and then a back shoulder throw right here. And Southside looks like they're out to practice early, and they're going to get on the board. And maybe it's a prelude of things to come later on. But as the game goes on, you're going to see Southside sputter really because of that yellow flag. Here's one right here that is roughing the punter penalty that is going to set Hoax Bluff up. It looks like Hoax Bluff has a chance to tie this game. But the Southside defense will stiffen, force a missed field goal.
That was Hoax Bluff's best chance to score in the first half, and they were unable to do so. And again, the Southside defense, the way they just crowded the box tonight, really daring Hoax Bluff to throw, and they just didn't, other than the big pass play we'll see at the beginning of the third quarter, they just didn't have much of an answer, Coach.
Yeah, this is the last play of the first half, and we thought this one was going to go all the way to the house, but really a game-saving tackle, or at least a touchdown-saving tackle, is going to keep that one from going all the way. Start of the second half, lightning strikes in a hurry.
This was the big pass play from Masters to Cole Stone. And, Coach, this actually tied the game at 7-7, but that seems like a long time ago. Well, this was a huge turning point in the game.
Yeah, things will never be the same after this. And, you know, that young man really was all over the field. We ought to mention him just a little bit. That's Cole Garrett, who made several big plays. That one that should have been a touchdown. Penalty called it back. The post route is going to set it up, and then Neesmith will run it in for the score. And really, Southside never looks back.
And it was just such a balanced attack. There you see Neesmith scoring his rushing touchdown tonight. And then even special teams were a problem. The high snap and Southside getting the touchdown by way of special teams. And the route was on. And despite the blowout, both teams a lot of respect for each other.
We hope you enjoyed this week's highlights compiled by David Holtzford. Be sure to send your own highlights to David at the email on the screen. This week's Game of the Week features Birmingham rival schools Minor High School at Mountain Brook. Be sure to tune in at 7 p.m. on Thursday. I'm Susan Carruthers, and on behalf of AHSAA Weekly, I thank you for joining us, and we look forward to seeing you next week.